It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
This episode of the Up North Journal podcast is brought to you by PSE Archery,
Carbon Express,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Wind Scent Hunting Sense,
Killer Food Plots, Seeds, Supplements, and Attractants,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Limb Walker Turkey Calls,
Antler Action,
Family Tradition Tree Stands,
and Twisted Mind Bowstrings. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. Welcome back to another episode of the Up North Journal, everybody. I'm host Mike Adams, sitting in the cabin tonight on a beautiful Sunday evening.
a nice cool one, but sunny.
It has been sunny. It's been a great weekend. Is the sun set yet? You know, we're getting to that time change right now where things are getting a little funky with the lighting, you know, and then we're going to flip it actually 2 weeks or next week.
When is it?
I think it's next week.
Is it?
I think so.
Sweet.
So, but we got somebody right now that's driving down the road, and we've kind of had him on hold. So why don't we just get started?
Let's do it, and let's get him on the show because we met this guy back at Cabela's grand opening in Chesterfield.
Absolutely.
The one and only Tim Andrews from Rush Outdoors. How's it going, Tim?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Oh, man, we are doing fantastic. Mike and I are glad to have you on the show, and thanks for letting us talk to you as you drive through Canada.
It's our first call from Canada.
Yeah, this would be our first international call.
Yeah. Well, no. We've had had people from England.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
but how are you, man? I saw you Saturday at Outdoorama. We met at Cabela's. But how you been?
I've been good. Been busy. I've been doing a lot of traveling here, doing sport shows. Like I said, right now driving back home after being in beautiful state of Michigan. Got to work the next 2 days, and then I fly to Sioux Falls, South Dakota for another seminar series.
It's that time of year, isn't it?
It's that time of year. Hey,
It is. And after that, it gets fun. Turkey season starts.
How many hour drive is it from Michigan to New York, where you're going back home?
About 5.5 hours, but what usually either hinders me is the border wait, depending on how quick I can get through the border.
Oh, okay.
Wait time.
5.5 isn't too bad.
No, that's not as bad as what I thought it would be.
5.5 hours, I still can't be at my cabin.
I could be in Kentucky, or I'd be above the bridge.
Right.
That's about it.
Or we could be in New York.
Or we could be in New York. That's right. Right on.
But hey, you know what? How's Rush Outdoors doing, and how's that show doing? You got a new season coming up, don't you?
It's been a great run. We started out with a regional show 6 years ago. We're filming for season 7 that'll start this October. Then we went national, the World of Rush Outdoors on the Pursuit Channel. We're second year now that it starts April, second quarter on Mondays and Tuesdays. So we've been doing really good. It just keeps on getting better every day.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. You know, you hear so many things that try to take off, and then all of a sudden they go right down the tubes. But I saw you at ATA. You were running around meeting with prospective people and stuff. But it's good to go. But after we met at Cabela's and stuff, you decided you jumped right into hunting.
Yeah, I went to Wyoming for antelope hunt early archery season, and the hunting guides were with me the first morning. 3 hours into it, I shot a real nice antelope. Then got to do a little fishing there, and it was off to a great season. My whole season was pretty much one of those ones you like to have. I like to have one every year, but you know how that goes.
Right, exactly. So you were hunting for a total of 3 hours.
3 hours.
And then you got what you were after, and then you got to fish?
Yeah, there was a private reservoir on the ranch. Caught a real nice rainbow. It was just a good trip. You know, the weather was, if anything, it was cooler for that time of year in the middle of August. I mean, in the morning it was in the low 30s, believe it or not.
Now, did you shoot him with a bow or a gun, or what was it?
Yeah, I shot him with a PSE Evolve, the brand new one last year. Hard shot him. He went 20 yards, dropped on film. It was just a great hunt.
How you like that Evolve PSE 3035?
Oh, I love it. It's a great shoot and go, forgiving. It's a great company, PSE. There's no doubt about it.
That's a true statement there. Their sponsors are ours as well. But, then you went to... What were you catching while you were fishing?
He was catching rainbows.
They had rainbows. Yeah.
I wish I had the photo of it because I saw it today on Facebook, and that fish had so much color. It was beautiful.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a painting.
Oh, it was. That was just a great trip. 3 of my buddies and I, we made a deal with a rancher, and we went out there. Everybody killed their antelope, did some fishing, just had a good time together.
And it sounds like you were leading the way. You got done hunting early. You went back, caught dinner.
Yeah, that was great. It was a great trip. And then from there, I did a little hunting in New York. And our season opens the 1st, like you guys, and got lucky enough to take a real nice buck, New York buck, with my PSE again. And it was off to a great season.
We got that picture up for the people live on Facebook. Got a picture of you with the Evolve there, and you're holding that deer. Now, for you in New York, that area, is that a typical size deer, big, small? What for New York? For what do you see?
We're getting some bigger deer, of course. If we have the potential to be just like the Midwest, but the way the deer regulations are, they just a lot of 1.5-year-old deer get shot early, and that buck walked out. If you're looking at it, I think it was on the 8th of October. It was warm, and I wasn't going to go hunt that afternoon, but I thought I'm not going to shoot one sitting on the couch. I was on vacation, so I went out there, and 25 minutes later, maybe I shot that buck, believe it or not.
Boy, your sits are real short, it seems like. Just get out there and bang.
I love that. If you're happy with it on the first day, shoot it then.
Right.
Excuse me. If you're happy with it on the last day, shoot it on the first.
There you go.
Right, exactly. And, okay, so now you've spent about 3 hours and 25 minutes out in the woods, and you've man, I must be missing something here, but that is awesome. But
it looks like that buck that you're sitting over a food plot. What have you got planted? Is that clover that I see in the background?
Believe it or not, no, that was a field that we were so wet in the spring that the farmer didn't plant anything. That's just natural grass coming up there. I shot him over on one of our food plots about 100 yards to the west. He came out, and I thought he was going to go the opposite way, and I was self-filming for the TV show, and he came right in my lap, and I came to full draw, and of course he stopped behind a tree, so I had to wait for him to clear that, had to come out at full draw, adjust my camera, and then redraw, and got lucky and made the shot, and he went 100 yards and dropped.
Now, do you always do self-filming for the show, or were you just having to be that
pretty
time?
much. It's turned into like a total challenge for me. I love the challenge of trying to do both. I mean, sometimes it's a little shaky, but I think people can relate to that more. And plus, having a cameraman, it adds to the cost, it adds to the scent control, and I just like doing it by myself. Matter of fact, almost everybody now on Rush Outdoors, our pro staff, pretty much self-films.
Oh, no kidding.
How many do you have on staff?
We have probably around 5 or 6 pro staffers. We have a couple of field staffers. What happens is there's a segment of our show called Rush Uncut.
Okay.
It's where you join the club for $25, you get a hat or a T-shirt, and then no matter what you're filming, if it could be your child catching his first fish or you shooting a deer or whatever, you send your footage in to us. Our editor cleans it up, and we air it. We air 2 or 3 little clips every segment of the show, every show.
Oh, okay. I see how you do that. So it's kind of like uncut and everything. All right, cool.
Yeah. And then what happens, there's always the cream always rises to the top, and you'll have that one guy that just has the knack for it. So what we do is we make him field staff, whereas he has all the connections with our partners, the companies we deal with, to get product at a better rate, which gives them more of an incentive to film more. And then when they really hit make the next step is when we go to pro staff, where all the product from our sponsors is given right to them.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, now I gotta take you back a little bit. So was this a dream of yours that started it out, or how did this all end up? How did this all evolve?
A friend of mine that used to work for Gander Mountain and Ithaca Guns wanted to start a TV show, and at the time I was filming for Deer City, USA and Outdoor America out of Michigan, and they'd asked me to host it, and I wasn't sure because I was already on the Outdoor Channel, but I talked to my family and stuff, and I said, what do you think? And my wife told me, she said, well, are you ever going to be host of that Deer City USA or Outdoor America? And I said, no, probably not. She said, having host on your resume is pretty strong. So at the time when I took the position of hosting, Rush Outdoors, we were just on one channel. And then after that, we've grown to, we're on 8 networks that run year-round on our regional show.
That's awesome. That it's just, you went out there and you took it and went after it, and now look at you. That's some great story behind there, getting there, and then cool, really cool. But after that New York buck, where did we go from there?
Well, I went to Nebraska, and I killed a nice buck in Nebraska the year before with my bow. And this year, I go with a buddy of mine every year, and the rancher's cattle were in a lot of my places, and I had ran into cattle everywhere I went, it seemed like, and it wasn't happening for me. My buddy killed a great buck. I didn't. And then I took him back to the airport, and then I drove on to Wyoming. And
out in Wyoming?
I was in just north of Hewlett, Wyoming. I have some friends that are ranchers there, and kind of funny story. That was my 3rd year there. And the last 2 years, I killed on the second day of the hunt. And this year, my 3rd year, guess what? Killed again on the second day.
Oh, I tell you, you know what? Man, you are having, so far, 4 animals, the season of a lifetime. And we got a picture we got a picture of you with that Wyoming buck, and we see snow in the background. How's the weather?
It was 18 degrees out, and I was doing. I have a deal made with a rancher, and they have a couple ground blinds set up for me. And so what the deal is there? It's probably an 18-mile drive from my hotel to there. And then what happens is I meet them at the gate at the ranch, and they drive me out to the one blind, and we make an arrangement. Either they come move me at noon, or first day I sat till noon, and then I walked about 1.5 miles to my other blind and set up there. And then saw a bunch of deer, saw probably 35 deer, probably 15 bucks, nothing that I wanted to make a TV star to. So the second day came, and it was cold. And I made a deal with them. I said, hey, come get me at noon, drop me off in my truck at the gate, and what I'll do is I'll walk to my evening set, which is only about 1 mile away. In traveling from where I sat to the road, we spotted that buck and a doe bedded up on this hilltop bedded. She must have been in heat because he wouldn't leave her for nothing. And we put a stalk on him, and I made the shot.
Wow. That is a riot. That is a nice buck. That is a 9, 8?
It was a big 8. He wasn't real tall time, but he was real wide.
Man, that is a nice buck. And you got a little snow on the ground and put a stalk. How far was the stalk?
We stalked him about 100 yards, got with him, and it was in some brush, and he thought that we couldn't see him, and I had to get down on my knee, and I found a little hole to make the shot, and it was about a 120-yard shot, and shot him right in the boiler room, and he slid down the hill.
So you were walking to your stand, and you just happened to look over and see these 2 deer bedded up on the hill.
Oh, no, I was in the rancher's truck. We were driving down the laneway, and we spotted them up on the hillside, off on the hillside.
You were in a moving vehicle, no less. Wow.
Well, I got to imagine, too.
We drove past them.
I say they're probably used to seeing those vehicles drive back and forth, aren't they?
Yeah, that's a ranch vehicle. There's cattle all over and stuff. So what happens is we spotted him, and so we figured if we stopped the vehicle, he would run off. So we drove past, probably, out of sight, basically, maybe 400 or 500 yards, and then put a sneak on him.
Jeez, Pete, that is awesome. And it sounded like you were trying to self-film this, right?
Yeah, it was kind of a funny story. I knew that I wasn't going to be able to do both. So I had the rancher with me, Josh, and I said, have you ever ran a camera before? And he said, no. And I said, well, in about 3 minutes, you're not going to be able to say that. And he did a great job.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hey, you have to improvise when you're in the field. Something like that happens and you're not expecting it. You make the best of the situation and use what you got.
Yeah, they're great people. Rennell and Josh Taylor, they have a great ranch. The family is just good people. It's like I said, it's my third year, and I'm going back again this year.
Awesome.
Can't wait for that. That's for sure. So, but okay, so you are just on a roll here.
Well, I tell you what. Why don't we take a break? We step outside. We'll take our first break. We'll come back. We'll kind of pick up on the rest of because we're not done yet. There's more pictures here to show. So
I know but he's got such short stories.
Yeah, I know. They don't take long to happen. So I tell you what, we're going to step outside and we'll be back here in just a moment. So hang with us.
PSE Archery has reinvented the way you buy bows.
From now on, you can make the most educated decision possible
by basing your bow choice specifically on your shooting needs and goals.
All you need to do is ask yourself, what kind of shooter am I? What do I want to achieve?
PSE will help find the right category for you.
So, what kind of shooter are you?
Find out at psearchery.com.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Welcome back, second segment of the show. We're still talking to Tim Andrews of the Rush Outdoors. And we've talked about the great success that he's had, the short sits, getting out, and just having everything happen.
Improvising with a cameraman?
Yeah, and so many times you go out, things don't go the right way all the time. And then once you kind of start stringing some things together and having some luck fall your way, it just makes for a great season. I got to imagine that that kind of put you on a roll going into the rest of the season, didn't it, Tim?
It did, and we all know that I've had my bad seasons. We all have. It's just when you have it, take it for all it's worth and enjoy the ride.
Well, that's what you got to do too, and because there's so many times we go out and we sit and we spend a lot of time in the field where we don't have any, and what we call success is putting some meat in the freezer or getting something down on film that you really want to be able to show people. But you use each time that you're out there as a learning tool and build upon that, even in those hunts that we might call bad times.
Right, exactly. You know, and I have to admit, I had a good year as well. I was out an hour and I got one with a crossbow, an hour and I got an hour and a half with a gun. So
right,
totally understand it. But so for Tim, after that buck, where were you off to then? Because I think you were heading into the next...
Saskatchewan?
Saskatchewan?
Oh, no. Saskatchewan was before the Nebraska-Wyoming hunt. I did that in the third week of October.
Oh, okay. So for Nebraska, was it warm, cold?
It was warm for one day, then it snowed every day. I had snow pretty much on every trip I went this year. The one in Saskatchewan is usually... you're up... I was... let me think here. I was 9 hours north of Fargo because I was doing a show for our title sponsor, Runnings, in Moorhead, Minnesota, which is right on the border of Fargo. And what happened was I got done there, and I said, well, I was already here. I might as well just drive up. So I drove up, and it was, highs in the low 40s the day that I got there. And the third day, afternoon, storm blew in, and we got probably 6 to 8 inches of snow. I shot that buck in a snowstorm, and the footage is unbelievable.
Jeez.
Now, all the hunts that we've been talking about, that's what we're going to be seeing on the Rush Outdoors this coming season?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, season 7.
Okay. Well, we've got a picture here of a great buck that you've got, and I believe this is a Saskatchewan hunt that you shot with a muzzleloader, correct?
Yep.
Well, take us through that.
It was my third day. We had a real nice buck on trail camera, and at this one area, and I sat the first 2 days, saw everybody except him, and then the third morning, we saw the wind was going to change, so we had to change spots. And we went to this other spot, and when I got there, it was no snow at all. An hour later, there was probably 3 inches, and it was coming down hard. And I was thinking, well, I think all the deer are going to be hunkered down in this. And a doe walked by me at about 10 yards in my ground blind, and then another doe, then a small buck. And then I'm thinking to myself, you know, just once, I'd like to have a big one show up like that. It'd be great footage.
Right.
And it was like they heard me. And that big buck walked out, and his tines are like all 11 inches. They're all 11 inches. Just a real pretty buck. And he walked by me, and of course I didn't have a good shot. And he chased the doe around for a second, and then started walking away by himself. So I whistled to him to get him to stop, and he couldn't hear me because of the wind maybe. And he got to about 50 yards, and I finally went, hey! And he spun around, and he gave me a broadside shot. I took it, and he went about 40 yards and piled up.
Wow.
Man. That's awesome.
So not only does he have great success, but he's also the deer whisperer.
Deer yeller.
Or yeller.
Yeah, the whisper didn't work.
Yeah, right.
Right, exactly. So, but, man.
There's been no shortage of venison in his freezer, I take it.
Probably not.
Oh, no. I love eating the venison. There's no doubt about that. No doubt about that.
Well,
every year I try to get some sausage made, too. I had some sausage made by a local guy that does a great job of it, and I have 40 pounds of that done, and I'm going to make 30 pounds with a buddy of mine, and maybe we make fresh Polish, and that comes out very good. So I'm going into summertime with around 70 pounds of sausage.
Nice. Ready for the barbecue and everything.
No kidding.
Now, you just don't do the old deer hunting thing. You do fishing as well, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, we
have a good friend of mine that's is a charter boat captain on Lake Erie, Barcelona Charters, Brad and Darcy Smith. They have been so good to us. We've done 2 years with them fishing, and this year we had another great trip. We ended up, hold on a second here, make sure I don't miss my turn. We ended up getting out there. The first day we tried, we got blown off. We couldn't even get on the water. So we redid it in September, right after I had a great goose hunt in New York, and we ended up catching a bunch of walleye, and we were also getting a bunch on the graph on the bottom, and we figured there was a lake trout. So I said, let's drop a rigger down there, and we did, and lo and behold, I caught a monster laker, biggest one I ever caught.
Yeah, we got a picture here. That thing's a hog.
How big is that?
If I remember correctly, it was just over 20 pounds.
That is a hunk of fish. And it looks like the weather there is just beautiful. You guys, I mean, you're wearing short sleeve shirts, blue skies. You talk about the storm the day before, but the water behind you looks like it's pretty calm.
Yeah, it was a little rip at first when we got on there, which I don't mind. And then it laid down, and I think we caught 2 or 3 walleye over 8 pounds, and a lot of the good eating size there, that 3 to 5 pound range. We love those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got a whole thing, a whole rack full of fish there. I mean, you definitely see the lake trout, but you can see all the walleye as well. Now, that fishery up there in that area, is that the predominant fish? I mean, is it pretty much people up there walleye fishing, doing a little bit of lake trout fishing, or is perch and crappie and all the other species there as well that people go after?
On that end of Lake Erie, it's primarily a smallmouth, walleye, perch, and lakers.
Okay.
Now up where I live on Lake Ontario, that's salmon country. We get big kings and coho, some Atlantics, and brown trout.
Okay. Now, that's the one Great Lake I've never been on, or even seen, actually. How does that compare to, like, Lake Erie? You know, I mean, fishing-wise, other than, like you said, the species, but how does the water play? Is it, do you get big...
we got big rollers in Ontario. Well, you do in Erie as well. It's just... Lake Ontario is a mean lake. It's like Superior. Well, they all can be mean.
Sure.
But, you're trying to, fish, and sometimes fishing trying to fish and get good footage filming, you got to try to have somewhat calmer waters. Otherwise, your viewers are going to get seasick.
Right? that makes sense.
Now, do you fly fish as well?
I have when I was younger. I don't have a lot of time anymore I'd like to get back into it, which I'm planning on doing that in the next year because I'm going to retire from my regular job this May.
Okay.
So that's going to open up a lot of more doors for me to do stuff.
Awesome.
You know, it's one thing he mentioned that when I talked to him Saturday that he was actually going to retire from his real job in May. And it's one thing that when somebody tells me that, I'm very excited because I always like to see somebody when they say that to be able to walk out and say, I'm done. I'm heading off into the sunset.
Doing things on your terms, having control of the way you want things to play out versus somebody saying, we don't need you anymore.
Right.
You know, that's nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Man, you being retired, you just don't know what you're going to do with your time.
I know. I'm excited all about that. I'm going to take like a good couple weeks and just sit back and rewire. And, well, believe it or not, my first week of retirement, I have a show in Connecticut and New Hampshire for our runnings, our title sponsor. They're a Midwestern store that's getting really big in the Midwest.
Okay.
Getting really big in the East. They're like I always explain them. They get a kick out when I say this. They're like a upper scale Tractor Supply.
Okay.
They have a little bit of everything. They're a very nice store. And it's family run. They're great people to deal with. They're just nice people.
That's awesome.
Well, I tell you what, let's take our next break. We come back, we'll have you on for another segment here, and we'll kind of get maybe a little more behind-the-scenes type stuff. We've talked about the hunts, we talked about the fishing and the show and everything.
Let's pick his brain.
Yeah, we'll pick your brain a little bit here. So we're going to step outside when we take our next break, and we'll be right back after this.
PSE Archery has always dominated the speed category. Now, the most revolutionary cam system ever to hit the market has perfected the shooting experience. Introducing PSE's Evolve Cam System, featuring extremely high let-off capabilities and the smoothest draw cycle in history. No other cam system has ever delivered this level of total comfort and total control. Experience PSE. Experience performance.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Welcome back, third segment of the show. We are traveling down the road with Tim Andrews of the Rush Outdoors, and you are somewhere in Canada right now, I take it.
I'm in Hamilton right now.
Hamilton, okay. Well, we know where that's at. I don't know if everybody listening does, but we know where that's at.
I have a cousin that lives there.
Yeah, that's right. Your family's from Canada, Danny.
Yes, they are. They're Canucks.
All right. Well, we've kind of talked about the show. We talked about your season, what's coming up on the show. We kind of gave everybody a preview of the hunts and everything. You know, you're from New York. Is that where you were raised at, or did you land there because of a job?
No, I was born and raised in New York.
Okay, so you're a New York State person naturally. You didn't move up that way. Now, where did you get your hunting bug at? I mean, was this a family deal, an uncle, a grandpa, your dad? Where did you learn to hunt, and how did that all start?
That's a good question, because really, I grew up being, my mom raised my sister and I by herself, so I didn't have a father to show me all that. My next door neighbor was a big hunting, fishing guy, and I was too young to hunt with him, but he took me fishing. But I used to go look in his trophy room with the deer heads and the bearskin rug, and kind of had the itch, and then pretty much just evolved on my own, I guess.
Okay. So the tradition up in New York, I got to imagine it's a lot like maybe here in Michigan. You know, you mentioned the bear rug, you mentioned the trophy room with the deer heads and things like that. Those are big things here in Michigan. Is that pretty much a staple of the hunting in New York, or is it just by chance that that's who taught you? And he had that.
Just by chance. I mean, we don't have bear where I live. Well, they've slowly, every once in a while, someone will shoot one.
Okay.
They're not like real prevalent. But yeah, just turned into that, you know, and I just came, and then I used to love, you know, look at the Outdoor Life magazines in the back of the magazines, and you'd see all the ads for these hunting places, and you know, back then you didn't get on the internet. You had to write a letter and ask for information or call.
Right.
And, so then you'd get the as I got older, you get the magazine or the brochure, and you're looking at it and you're seeing what the price is there, and you have to convince your wife or girlfriend that you want to go spend that kind of money to go shoot the same deer you have in your own backyard.
Right.
So then what happened was I thought that, you know what, I don't really need an outfit. I know how to deer hunt. I just need a place to go. So I started doing do-it-yourself trips, you know, where I pay a trespass fee, like in Wyoming or Montana, and it just took off. And I've done over 50 do-it-yourself trips in the West and Midwest.
That's awesome. You know, it's weird because when you say trespass fee,
right?
I mean, I never heard that term until maybe the last, 10 years or so when we went out west for the first time. The only time I've been out west. But it's odd to hear people talk about a trespass fee. You know, that's just the terminology they call it, but that's, you know, what we have to deal with. But yeah, you're right. You know, we sit and look at magazines. That's what I did, you know, when I was younger, looking at hunting magazines, and that's kind of before the internet. And, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because yesterday at the show that you were at, I actually signed up for a magazine, the Woods and Water News and Michigan Outdoor News, two of them. And that's something that we've gotten away from because of the internet. But I enjoyed sitting there looking through it today, you know, by the fireplace.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, that's it's a double-edged sword, the internet these days. It's hurt a lot of the, you know, it used to be a big thing back with the VHS tapes and then DVDs, and now those sales go by the wayside because everybody can watch online now, and it
right.
kind of hurt a little bit. You know, it changed the whole way of the industry going.
Yeah, and you wonder how far it's going to go, or is it ever going to come back around, you know, to where it once was? Or, you know, where's this trend going to go?
Right, exactly. You know, and like you said, Tim, it's always changing, right? So, you know, like your shows are on YouTube now, and you know where you went from where you started and how fast it's going. It seems like every 6 months to a year, something new's breaking.
I'd love for it to get back the way it was, like around late '90s, early 2000. The industry was on fire. It was just a great run, and then you know, the economy, everything changes.
Right. Did you ever think that the industry would change? You know, that you'd be involved in the industry like it is now, like you are right now?
No, I used to hope. I used to hope and wish, and then it slowly. You know, I've been with Realtree now 22 years as a national pro staffer, and without them, I would have never been able to do any of the stuff that I've done. They were definitely the platform to work off of. They're a great company. I was just at their home office there last month in Georgia. You know, I got to see people that I've talked to on the phone for 20 years to finally meet face to face. You know, I've met the bigger ones, you know, outdoor shows and this and that, but to have that right there, that was pretty cool.
You know, like you said before the internet, you know, you'd talk over the phone, like you said, and, you know, the industry was in its infancy. You'd make those conversations over the phone or via mail or what have you. But now with the trade shows and with the internet and things of that nature, you know, it's just, to me, it's just, even though it seems to me like it's gotten a little smaller and a little tighter, but yet and still those relationships, they just continue to grow, and you build upon those things, and great things happen.
You know, and Tim's right. Look at, he did years over the phone or at the ATA show, and he finally gets to go meet the people that he's doing that with. And it's just, that's the society we are in, right?
Yeah.
And look what we're doing now. We're talking over the phone and
live streaming
on Facebook, and here we are. And we got a guy that's driving through Canada.
Right. Okay, well, you're driving through Canada. We'll kind of wrap it up with this. We got some questions we'll ask you. We kind of throw to everybody we talk to. If you're driving down the road tonight, now, obviously you're talking to us, but when you hang up the phone, what's on your radio or on your playlist on your phone that you're listening to?
Probably country music.
So he's a country guy.
Right on. What is it, contemporary country? Is it old country, bluegrass? What flavor?
I like the mix. I like a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new.
Okay.
I like a lot of the stuff from the 70s and 80s. You know, when I was younger, I like listening to that also.
Right on.
Nice. Okay, so you're driving, you're listening to your favorite country music, but you need a snack, or you're going to take a snack with you out in the woods. What's your go-to snack that you're going to take with you out in the woods every time?
Trail mix.
You know, we hear that from a lot of guys.
Mix with the peanuts and the M&Ms, and I like that. And then I'm a chocolate fanatic, so usually a lot of times when I'm really bored, I'll sit and try to pick all the M&Ms out of it first.
Yeah, I know. I hate to admit it, but I'm kind of the same way. When I have trail mix, I'll spread. If I can set it all out and spread it and unmix it, that's what I do.
It helps pass the time, right?
It does. Okay, another question for you. You've been very successful with fishing, with hunting, venison. What's your favorite recipe? Venison, fish, turkey, anything. What's your favorite recipe that I'm going to go make this tonight?
You can't beat venison backstrap on a charcoal grill, as far as I'm concerned. That's one of my favorites. I like, fresh walleye or perch, fried up with some French fries. I mean, who doesn't like that? And I like doing stuff with the ground venison, trying different dishes. I love to cook, and outside or inside doesn't make a difference.
Now I know who to have in camp.
Right on.
A guy who likes to cook. Man, let him loose.
He's got plenty of time to cook because he's laying animals down so quickly on these hunts.
Right.
So, okay. Okay, you've been out west. You've done all this hunting. What animals on your list that you haven't got yet that it's on your bucket list that you need to go get?
I'm not everybody's going to say, everybody asks me about elk. That's always brought up to me. And elk, I've seen them when I've been hunting. I'm afraid because they say once you get the elk bug, you'll give up deer hunting. And I've got to shoot about another 100 whitetail or another 100 mule deer before I'm happy.
Right on.
I just love deer hunting.
You're right. It's just the deer hunting thing is just, I don't know how you could not like it.
Well, see, and I wonder too if it's. I mean, like New York, you're talking about that hunting heritage. Here in Michigan's the same thing. We just got such a strong, deep background of hunting. I wonder if that's what plays into that.
Exactly. I bet you it does.
And we've got elk here in Michigan. I've never been lucky enough to hit the lottery and draw a tag. But,
right. Exactly. And so okay.
I do want to shoot a caribou though.
Okay.
And that is one thing that I guess in the bucket. I'd like to do a caribou hunt someday, but. You can't do it on yourself. You do it yourself. You can in certain areas, but the travel part of it, I'd love to go do a drop camp in Alaska where they drop you off for a week and then come get you later on. That'd be kind of fun.
There you go. See, you're going to have some time to do that after May.
Well, I'll tell you what, before we let you go, where can everybody find your show at? Go ahead and plug the places where they can find you.
Okay, we're going to be, first off, if you don't have the Pursuit channel, which out your way, we're on Pursuit channel starting this April, the second quarter, on Mondays and Tuesday mornings. I'm not sure the exact time off the top of my head.
Okay.
But you can also watch last season's Rush Outdoors. See, the World of Rush Outdoors on Pursuit channel. Rush Outdoors are a regional show, but it's the same show just with a different set of sponsors.
Okay.
So you can go to rushoutdoors.com, and on the sidebar, you can watch Season 6 right now. All Season 6 episodes are right there.
Okay. And find you on Facebook as well.
Oh, yeah. You got Rush Outdoors on Facebook. You can go to my personal page, Tim Andrus, on Facebook, if you have any questions or anything like that. And if you go to Rush Outdoors on Facebook, there's another one on there. You'll see the logo. It's red and white. You'll see the logo. give us a like. We'd appreciate that.
Okay.
Absolutely. You know, we've had him on the show. Go out there, give Rush Outdoors a like.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, you're traveling down the road. You got a little ways to go yet, so we're going to let you get back to driving safely so you're not busy talking to us on the phone, but we appreciate you taking a little bit of time out of your night to talk to us on your way home.
All right. Thank you. Thanks again appreciate the effort being on.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Tim. We'll be talking to you.
All right. Take care now.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, we're going to step outside. We're going to take our last break here. We come back, we'll kind of wrap things up with kind of a few observations we had through the weekend of some of the things that we saw at the show. So we'll be right back after this.
Acceleration is part of PSE's DNA. PSE pioneered the speed movement. Now they've developed the vapor category to help you find the most powerful bows on the market to fit you.
High speed equates to intense power and building the momentum you need to be successful. Are you a vapor shooter? Find out at psearchery.com.
Killer Food Plots have been helping property owners for over 20 years create premier whitetail habitat. Whether replenishing your soil with their all-natural Organics Fusion pellets or planting a premier KFP food plot seed blend to help your deer rebuild their bodies through spring and summer while supplying the much-needed high energy during and after the rut, you can trust that Killer Food Plots family and their products will help your deer achieve their full potential.
Welcome back. Last segment of the show, everybody. Sitting here in the cabin. Don't know if we've lost everybody on the live stream or not. We're kind of in limbo here.
We're turning green, yellow, and red over
there. We go. So, yeah, it looks like it switched back over.
Oh, there we go.
So, for those of y'all on, if we lost you there and we're back, we apologize. I think I'm having some issues with the router here.
It might be.
So, but this weekend, you and I attended the Outdoorama down in Novi.
The umpteenth Outdoorama, and I can't remember if there actually has a number to it. But
I don't think so.
Yep, we went to the Outdoorama. I was there a couple hours earlier than you were.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I tried to get there Thursday night, but I didn't make it. A little bit of a snowstorm we had going on here.
Okay.
But I did want to go for Big Buck Night,
but
I didn't make it. So I ended up going Saturday morning, and it was busy. It was good to see. It was we pulled in. There was a lineup to get in.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lineup to get tickets. But
and it was elbow to elbow with people there.
When we got inside, it was elbow to elbow, and it was good to see. It was good to see various ages, from strollers to wheelchairs.
Right.
You know, people getting out and enjoying that show. Now, that show's combined with a home show as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it used to be just one show itself.
Right.
But now they've combined it, which is kind of cool in a way, because I don't mind going down looking at the home stuff either.
Right.
That mini cabin in that back corner.
Yeah, you know what, Shannon, my wife, she was with us. She went with me down there to the show, and she kind of looks at it. She goes, "Wow, that's got a loft upstairs in that. You know, it's like a little two-room cabin. What was it? Probably
it was probably
24 by 16-ish.
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
You know what? It was probably 16 by probably 24.
Yeah,
because I think they have to stay under a certain diameter, or not diameter, a width to get it down the road.
Okay, yeah, I looked at that and I went, you know, that if I had that back in my hunting spot, I'd never come back to camp. I'd just stay out there, you know. It'd be my new hunting blind. But I didn't see the price on that. What did
$34,000.
34. Well, okay, so it was a full blown cabin. Now, was it finished? I mean, did it have all the amenities and everything for that price?
Yeah, right.
Or not?
There was no bathroom.
Outhouse.
Yep. There was no sink.
There was no
water. No fireplace. There was no.
It was just
you. That was the shell.
The shell. Okay.
You'd have to go in and you'd have to finish it.
But it was finished on the inside.
It
though.
Was.
Okay.
Yes, it was. It was
Gotcha.
Nice. I personally would like to have seen a fireplace in the corner. And,
yeah.
You know, there's a couple upgrades, but no, the show was saw Dave Wilkins out there.
Mm-hmm.
That was nice to see him there.
Tried talking my wife into going for an African hunt. She was like, "No, we're not going until he opened the book and showed her that the camp has a swimming pool." And she's like, "Okay, we might do that."
Right.
So that changed her attitude.
So Dave was having a good show. I talked to him a little bit and seen how the industry was doing for him.
Right.
He says it's doing pretty good.
Yeah.
He says he's not complaining. He says it could all be worse.
Right.
So, but and I tried to get back, talk to him, but he was busy.
Mm-hmm.
So that was cool. I saw Tim Andrews.
Yep.
He was doing seminars.
I bumped into John Eberhardt there, one of our Michigan celebrity style hunters, and we talked to him quite a bit. Talked to him about some things going on here in Michigan with the DNR, and talked about my soapbox issue, and he agrees with me, which was nice to be able to sit and chit chat about that a little bit. Talked a little bit about the CWD issue, the TB issue, and just hunting and where it's going in general. Hope to have him on here soon. So we had a good conversation, and actually also want to give a shout out to Lance Valentine, who made sure that we got into the right place at the right time there at the show, and I stopped by his booth and talked to him a little bit. And we're going to have him on here probably in 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
So he teaches walleye 101. So
Yep.
We're going to have him on, talk a little bit of walleye fishing. I told him, I said, I drown worms. And he goes, well, I can deal with that. So
Right.
we can teach you.
we can drown them with the best of them.
So, but he's right here in our back door. He, hometown guy, and we're going to talk with him here.
Yeah,
real soon
get him
as
on
well.
the show, and we'll see what's happening with him. I didn't get a chance to stop by. He was busy talking with customers, obviously. Family Traditions tree stand.
Oh, I got to talk to Jack, yeah.
Did you get to stop and talk to him?
Yep, talked to Jack for a while. He was set up right next to the
smokehouse.
Smokehouse there that's just out of town here from east of town.
Right.
And I didn't know that, but he's friends with the owner, Steve.
Yes, he is.
So I was like, yeah, I'm not going by there. And he goes, why? And I kind of made the money sign with my fingers. I'm like, are you kidding? I said, if I go over there, I'm going to spend $50 or $100. You can't go into that store. Everything they got is awesome. It's just awesome.
One of the best things that they have is a smoked pheasant.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my.
Thebomb.com?
Thebomb.com. You buy the whole smoked pheasant.
Okay.
$24.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Right.
Awesome.
All right. So the show, yeah, I thought the show, it was okay.
Definitely.
It's not my cup of tea.
It used to be way better. Way better.
Right.
It's taken its toll.
I'm not knocking the show. It's just
No. It's just
not my cup of tea.
I just been there when I was a kid, remembering what it was to what it is today.
Right.
And they used to have like a big stage at one end of the Coliseum, and you had the guy with the 45 shooting.
Yep.
And I think they had mutts running agility courses.
Yeah.
They were missing probably you really can't put nothing in there though.
The last time I went to that show, they had the dock dogs that would jump and flop into the water and chase things and catch things in the air, the aerial dock dogs. And, it's kind of disappointing not seeing them there this year,
right.
when I went back. But my wife did get her fill of doggy petting.
Oh, yeah, there was dogs everywhere.
Yeah, and
good shout out to the crews. Michigan Bow Hunters Association, they were running a bow hunting thing, letting kids shoot archery. They had the trout pond from Bass Masters, I think, was there running the trout pond.
Was it the Michigan Fly Tyers Association? They were teaching kids how to tie flies?
They were there teaching kids how to fly ties.
Tie flies, not fly ties.
Go that way. And at the other end, and I don't know who was running that booth down at that end, but they were shooting the BB guns.
Okay, I didn't see that one.
Yeah,
I knew they were there, but I did not see that one.
Right. So really cool. Great thing to get the kids out involved, and you could have your fill of hunting, boats, and homes.
Right. Yeah. My wife, she enjoyed that part too. Seeing, the pool stuff and the stuff for cottages and stuff for the beach and lawn chairs and all that kind of good stuff.
The decks and stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So it's a good show. Good couple hours to walk around.
Yeah. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. So like I said, basically I go there and go see the guys that.
Yep.
I didn't run into Benefit for Kids.
I stopped by the booth, but Al or Steve was not there.
Okay. They weren't there when I was there, and I was just
stopped by and said hello.
Okay.
So yeah, made all our little stops. I saw Jim Lemke, he used to work with PSE. He's working with Shadow Hunters now, Shadow Hunters Box Blinds.
Oh, is that where he was at?
Yeah, so he was around the corner on the other side of Country Smokehouse.
Yes.
So I got to talk to him a little bit. And
Nice.
just got to meet all the guys that we normally see at shows, and especially the local ones here, so it was really nice.
Right, exactly. So, but you know what? From there, we go to next week. We start doing the Turkey Classic.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm fired up. I got my stuff sitting here in the box, ready to go.
I'll have mine ready to go, and then we'll be out there next week, 10 to 4.
Ish. Yeah. So we got seminars during the middle of the day.
Yep.
So I think we got 2 or 3. I can't remember exactly.
If you're in the area, stop on by. Check us out.
Yeah, absolutely. So something I'll finish up the show with here. I'm back to books again. And a guy I work with, we got to talking. He does podcasting as well, but he kind of dabbles in different things. And the one he was wanting to do was on Michigan murder mysteries. And he asked me, about a year ago, he says, did you ever hear about the story called Darker Than Night? And I'm like, name sounds familiar. I said, well, okay, remind me of what the setting was. And he said, the 2 hunters in Mayo. And I'm like, yes. Yeah, as soon as he said that, I knew exactly what he was talking about. This is the book on that. That happened in, I believe it was 85. I have to go back. I'm reading the book right now. Just kind of started into it. But 1985. November 22nd, they went missing. And 22nd, 23rd. It was second day of firearm deer season. And they traveled from your area down in Detroit. That's where they lived. And they went up north, 2 friends from high school, or childhood friends, and wound up coming up missing. And it took 18 years to find out what happened.
It started in 1985, and it went on for 18 years.
Yeah. So I'm getting into that, and what's really interesting about this, and not only this book, but something else I watched this last night actually, is there's a new series on Netflix. It's called Flint Town. It's about Flint. And
actually, Deb and Kelly have been watching that today.
Oh man, the thing about it is this book. There's the area, the places that they were at, and where things happened, the roads. It's all where I travel.
Yes, you go right through it every day.
I travel going up to deer camp.
Yep, you travel right through it.
They're naming the little restaurants and bars they were at, and I'm like, I know where that's at. I know where that's at. I know where they stay, and it's like, wow. I knew it was Mayo, but you don't put those things together,
right? You got Walkers and that downtown Mayo, and and then Deb and Kelly started watching the Flint thing.
The Flint thing is talking about the city of Flint and where I work, where I spent most of my life growing up, where I deal with this every day. And it's talking about the water crisis. It's talking about the crime. It's talking about the police department, the things that are going on here in the last 3 years. And when I got done watching all 8 episodes yesterday, I just binge watched it. It was like I relived the last 3 years of my life at work.
And that is season 1.
Yeah.
And then they're going to have another season?
I don't know. I assume so.
If you call it out as season 1, I would think.
But it's like, okay, I've eaten at that place. I know where that's at.
Pearson Road. And,
I've drove down there. I know where that housing complex is. And then they take news events, people that tell the stories in news, and there's people I work with.
Right,
that is in these episodes, which is real, that even hits a little closer,
And that's the thing.
But even that and reading this, it's like, when you can watch or read something and you know exactly where those places are or those events happened at,
right?
It just makes them that much more personal, I guess.
And then you listen to some of the stats they throw out.
Yeah.
Like that. It took 18 years to make something happen.
Mm-hmm.
Flint had 300 plus cops down to under 100 now.
Yeah, 98.
And it's like... Whoa.
And the thing that we've talked about before, around here with people, I'm like, I said, that they don't, in the city of 100,000 people, they've got 3 officers on patrol at night. It's mind blowing.
In a town of over 100,000.
Yeah.
3 patrol cars.
Yeah, 3 patrol cars.
How's that work out?
Not well. That's the problem.
And that's the thing. And it's in one of those OMG moments, right?
Right.
And then... you hope they turn it around.
Right. So, but
just like this, the witness in that book, it took her 18 years to come out because she was so deathly terrified to even mention it.
Right.
Just like downtown Flint.
Yeah, and I know some people personally who have ran across the guys that did that, and Yeah, they had a reputation. You get a chance, look it up on the internet or get the book and check it out because I've just started it, but I couldn't put it down. I had to put it down because we had to do the show tonight. So once I get done, I'm going right back to it.
There you go.
Try to finish it up. So
I wouldn't mind getting that. I don't know if they got that book on
digital.
Digital.
Oh, I imagine
I wouldn't mind listening to that as I drive to work.
Yeah,
or drive home from work.
Right on.
So.
Well, I'll tell you what, you guys show up Cabela's next weekend. We're going to be down at Chesterfield Cabela's Saturday and Sunday talking turkey. So bring your questions, bring yourself, if you got a call you're not sure about, bring it. And we'll help you out.
We'll have our tools of the trade there. We'll help you recondition it or condition it and see what's going on. There you go. And if you get a chance, go on over to Rush Outdoors. Give them a like.
Absolutely.
Go check them out on Facebook.
Yep.
Tim taking the time to give us a shout while he's driving. That's pretty
Absolutely.
Cool. Yep. Met him at Cabela's last year at the grand opening. Nice guy.
Yep. Saw him again at ATA.
Yep.
Got to chit-chat with him there. So go over and check him out. Good guy. Does it the right way. Gets out, hits it hard. And I tell you what, I can relate to hunting and self-filming. It is extremely tough.
Yes.
It's a booger. It's a booger. That's why it's I've come to the conclusion anymore. I get my camera and stuff set up, and if I can get rolling, get everything right, and get something, that's great. But if I can't, it comes down to the shot first. Then I worry about the video.
You're
because
right.
It is so tough.
It is, no doubt about it. And you know what? While you're reading your book tonight, I brought over some hunter sticks for you.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
because I felt for you, man. You didn't buy nothing from the smokehouse, but Danny came through.
Danny's Smokehouse.
There you go.
We need to make some.
We do.
We made some last year. I got 17 pounds of ground venison in the freezer. We need to mix up.
Yeah, I got like 50.
Yeah, well, we can mix this up. We'll go to town on it. So
yes, we can. So if you got a moment on Facebook, go check out Rush Outdoors. Check out Tim Andrews, and definitely share our show.
Yeah, absolutely. Share our show and stop down next week and see us. So for the podcast, that's going to do it, folks. We're going to sign off, and we'll be back again next week. And don't forget, you can catch us in syndication at 2 p.m. Eastern Time on goodtalkradio.com. This episode was brought to you by PSE Archery,
Carbon Express,
Fourth Arrow Camera Arms,
Winsent Hunting Sense,
Killer Food Plots, Seeds, Supplements, and Attractants,
Cabela's,
Spot Shooters,
Limb Walker Turkey Calls,
Antler Action,
Family Tradition Tree Stands,
and Twisted Mind Bowstrings.
Thanks for listening, and join us again here next week. Until then, remember, as we always like to say, if you're out on the water or in the woods, shoot straight and be safe. Until next week on the Up North Journal.